Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show.
Welcome, one and all, to the latest installment of the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show. Unless you're watching this after the next one comes out, then it's not the latest installment. I'm your host, Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And today we're going to be doing a review of the second of second successful Disneyland attraction turned movie. By which I mean the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. So, I'm looking at IMDb right now. It's got a 6.7. I think that's a little low.
Well, before we get too into that, I'm just going to say we're going to do a spoiler-free review. There is one thing in this that's a fairly big spoiler,
yeah,
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to give you a spoiler warning. We'll go more in depth into it after the spoiler warning. But up until that point, no spoilers. You know, anything in the trailer is free game, by the way. I think that's standard rule, I think, for movie spoilers in general.
Yeah, I should think so.
So anyway, yeah, so if you want kind of like pulpy, campy sort of adventure movie set during World War I, this is it. Fits the bill.
Sure does.
It's real pulpy, real campy. You could chew on it. It's pulpy enough, you know.
Yeah. So, I had a good time with this movie.
Yeah, no, it was entertaining the whole way through.
I usually like Dwayne Johnson in anything anyway.
Yeah.
He's always, you know, entertaining to watch because he's charismatic and funny. But yeah, all in all, like,
I mean, it had Paul Giamatti in it.
Yeah, and but the whole cast was good.
Yeah,
and
everyone was great.
I will say, you know, there are definite parallels to Pirates of the Caribbean. So they're there. I've seen people complain about that.
I don't know what people wanted. They're like taking a theme park attraction and turning it into a movie.
A theme park attraction that didn't really have any story to begin with.
Right. You know, at least with Pirates of the Caribbean, there's like something of a story, but they didn't end up using any of that anyway.
Right. No, this, if you're familiar with the attraction, there's a lot of references.
Yes. There's this segment that's like a good 10 minutes long, I think, of Dwayne Johnson. He's the skipper of this boat on the Amazon, and he's just like going through, and the whole thing's just a reference to the ride.
Yeah, a lot of the jokes and stuff wind up in there. And it's fun. It's
super campy.
It's super campy, but I don't know what you expect.
Yeah.
And you know, you can just sit through it's just over 2 hours. You know, for a couple hours, you can just sit back, no worries, have fun with the movie. And I think it looks like everyone involved was having fun making it.
Yeah.
You know, no one phoned it in. Everyone's a little bit, you know, over the top in some of the performances, but not in a bad acting way. It's just, you know, it's the kind of movie it is.
Yeah. Well, like everything with the main villain through it was like so over the top.
Yeah.
He's not really in the trailers much, so I don't know if we can really talk about him.
I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea this character was in the movie. But also, there's another character, because the trailer focuses on Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
But there are a few characters in there that they're like not in the trailer at all, and one's a pretty major character. I had no idea that he was in there.
Oh, so I don't think this is gonna be a spoiler, but you're talking
her brother.
Her brother, right? Yeah. That's not a spoiler. Like you 2 minutes into the movie, you find out that they're brother and sister. So
right.
It's fine.
But it's just like he's not in the trailer,
yeah,
but he's
not in there at all.
Major part of the movie. He's in like the whole movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, overall, I mean, it's about what you might expect from a Jungle Cruise movie, and it's not anything deep or anything, but it's a fun movie to watch, and the acting's good, and the visual effects are good,
Yep.
and with lots of references to the ride, and I'd say probably more references to the ride in this case than there were in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. In Pirates of the Caribbean, there actually weren't a whole lot of direct references to the ride.
Yeah, but there were little Easter eggs here and there that the fans got to go, ooh, yeah, that's from the ride.
Yeah. This was a lot of references to the ride.
Yeah. But I recommend it.
Yeah.
I think it deserves a little better than 6.7. Over a 7, maybe not quite an 8.
I would say a 7, like an even 7, is where I would place this movie.
All right. I don't have a whole lot to say about it without getting into spoilers, right?
No.
So
Watch it in theater so that these actors get,
yeah, get their money
their money.
that they deserve. Because
I
guess
mean,
Emily Blunt's gonna be might be part of this too. I had heard.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look, not saying that any of these people are like in desperate need of these paychecks, but like
No, but when you're contractually obligated to money, you should get it.
right. But
You
it's all
perform your
it's just
end of it.
it's just also it's not a good sign when the movie and when the studios are like, well, we can actually.
Here's a
It's
better
easier
thing.
to just release it on
Go
streaming.
see it in theaters so that the theaters
Yeah,
can make
that
money.
too.
Don't worry. All right, if you're don't come at us about these actors make too much money. Okay, fine, but what about the theater owners that
Yeah.
are suffering right now?
Yeah. I don't think the theater we went to is suffering that bad.
No, but there are across the country small
yeah.
business owners, small theaters
That are having issues with the.
Yeah,
So. But yeah, so spoilers then?
sure.
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot to get into regarding that is spoilerish that is really like a review of the movie, but like that German prince, Joachim,
Yeah,
who's like the main villain through the movie, he's not in the trailers like at all.
he's like chasing him down the Amazon in a submarine,
Yeah, in a U-boat.
and he's pretty funny. And oh yeah, and so there, like I said, there's parallels to Pirates of the Caribbean, and so 400 years ago, some conquistadors. All right, the main MacGuffin is this flower, right, that grows on this
It's
tree.
yeah,
That's
it's
supposed to cure all disease and heal all wounds.
It's supposed to be like what the Fountain of Youth legend was.
Right, and it cures all diseases and stuff. So Emily Blunt's character is looking for that. And so 400 years ago, these conquistadors came looking for it, and they found the tribe that protects it. But when the tribe wouldn't, hand it over to them, they started killing the tribe. And so they were cursed to be trapped within eyesight of the river or something like that.
They weren't real specific on how far away from the river
They couldn't
could
get very far from the river, and if they got too far, then the jungle would come alive and pull them back to the river.
Yeah.
But like in the most direct route possible. So they wound up getting trapped in this cave because the jungle couldn't pull them through the walls of the cave.
Yeah.
So, but as it turns out, we find out later that Dwayne Johnson was one of these conquistadors.
Who was not okay with killing the tribe.
Right, he was not okay with killing the tribe, and so he tried to stop them. And as a result, it was also unclear as to why the other conquistadors were mutated. Did that happen to them while they were trapped in that cave?
It must
Away
have.
from the river?
It must have.
I think that was the case. But basically, they're immortal, and like at one point he gets run through with a sword, and he's not even bleeding or anything.
And that's
so.
when we find out about all this.
Yeah. So he was, I guess, the biggest Spaniard ever.
He would be the biggest Spaniard nowadays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this movie, like you said, it does, there's some parallels to pirates. You got a curse, a magical MacGuffin, one guy who was part of who like would have been in the same position as the evil cursed guys, but isn't. So we find out about, partway through or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, they end up getting there at the end, killing the Germans, and Dwayne Johnson gets cured of his
curse. Because eating the petal of the magic flower also lifts the curse.
Yeah, that's why he was after it.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to jolly old London with Emily Blunt, and presumably they make just absolutely gorgeous children.
Mm-hmm. And he gets to drive a motor car.
Yep. Oh, how very...
Although you'd think I mean, the way they always show World War I London, there's a little bit more pep in their step in this one.
Yeah, well, by 1916, that whole country was pretty depressed. So, that's when this took place, right? 1916, I think?
I think so.
So, yeah. But that's Jungle Cruise. I mean, it's about what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any real surprises
Finally
there.
out. It was supposed to come out like 2019.
Originally?
Yeah, it was supposed to be like fall of 2019. Got pushed back.
And then got COVID back.
Yeah.
COVID pushed.
Yep.
Yeah. So coming up, our next movie that we're gonna see should be The Suicide Squad. Then later this month we've got Free Guy, finally coming out. We've got The Protege. Are we seeing Reminiscence?
I'm not sure. Like I'm kind of intrigued by the trailer, but also at the same time I'm not sure if I'm gonna enjoy it.
Right. Then next month we've got Shang-Chi. And Nolan's real excited for Clifford the Big Red Dog. The most
super excited.
just
for that.
off-putting CG I've seen in recent times. And then at the end of the month is Venom, the Venom sequel, Let There Be Carnage. And then in October we finally get the Bond movie that was supposed to come out. Because that's another one that was like 2019, right? And got delayed into COVID.
Yeah.
I think. And then we also have Dune and The French Dispatch. And Ron's Gone Wild. Or Ron's Gone Wrong. Ron's Gone Wild. Whew! Ron's Gone Wrong. Coming out in October. Oh, and the new Jackass movie, which I doubt we'll end up actually reviewing, is...
I mean, it's Jackass.
It's Jackass, yeah. But anyway, so that's what we got coming up. So if any of that sounds of interest to you, come check out that once those movies are out.
I'm
curious.
curious.
We'll be reviewing them.
I'm curious as to who's going to see Jackass. Like, Jackass came out when I was in high school.
Yep, and you're an old man now.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of curious, like, if anyone younger than us is gonna go see it.
Some people will. I mean, they have like other people in, that are like in the current zeitgeist. Like they got Eric Andre in there. So I think that's kind of an effort to like hook younger people. Because I mean, God, they're all like in their 50s now.
Yeah, well, they specifically mentioned in the trailer that uh, what's his name? Johnny Knoxville's 49.
Okay. So yeah, but yeah, we're probably not gonna end up reviewing that at any rate. But so like I said, if any of the stuff we said we will be reviewing sounds of interest to you, come check that out later. Once those movies come out and we have a chance to see them, we'll come back here and review them. So until next time, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.